Getting commitment is like the number one thing that you do. Whether or not you're working with a buyer or working with a seller, what do you actually do to close? And whenever I sit inside of a live listing presentation, it is kind of like the most awkward thing if someone actually doesn't know how to close. And the reality of it is they get to the end of the presentation, they're like, oh, like maybe I'll send you a proposal or great to meet. But what I want you to do is I want you to have a real system around what you do to be a phenomenal real estate agent, but most importantly, a great closer. Now, what you've got to do is that metaphorically, you've got to take the client by the hand and lead them to the outcome of actually selecting you as your real estate agent. And you know what? You are at your absolute best when you're face-to-face. No offense, you don't get better in a PDF. So what I want you to do is I want you to start to think about what you can do to get all the trial closes right. Because it's really about understanding sales process. Identify the needs of the client, sell the features and the benefits, trial close. Trial close is all about timing. Open time, auction time, photo time. When can I bring a buyer through? What would we need to do in order to be able to get a copy of a contract organized? The skill set here is to think that you want to space that out during the course of your listing presentation. When you're in that opener, making sure that you're getting commitment. When you go to your situation, who's your real estate solicitor going to be? When you're talking about selecting an agent, when would you like to select your agent by? When you go to method of sale, could you go with an auction time or maybe, for example, an open for inspection time? When you're talking about marketing, could you actually go to maybe a photo time or when you might be able to bring a buyer through their particular home? And when you get to pricing, how do you feel about that particular price? And what sort of price should we quote to a buyer if they asked? Now, if you're thinking about that, you've got all these little trial closes. And then when you then get to the end of the presentation, you will have handled all the objections. And so then what you do before you leave is that Mr. and Mrs. Owner, let's just do a quick summary and make sure I've got everything right. In relation to the pricing, this is what you'd like to do. In relation to the marketing, you'd like to do this. The method of sale is this. The timing is this. The fee is this. And obviously, why us? So it looks like we've done everything, yeah? Well, then let's get to it, yeah? And if you say yeah, people are more likely to say yeah. Although some Aussies will say yeah, nah. But the skill set is ultimately to think about this, that if you do all the little trial closes, then you can do the summary at the end. And the easiest way to become a great closer is to summarize, to get everything actually ticked off by the client, and use that little yes there to close. So you got lots of little yeses to lead to the big yes that changes everything in your career.